So people ask all the time if experience matters most with a real estate agent. And of course experience matters, but there's way more to it in real estate, okay? Someone that's been doing the job for a week is not gonna be able to do it as well as someone that's been doing it for 15 years. But experience can get a little foggy, and we're gonna go over that in this segment. One of my favorite quotes is a Martha Stewart quote, and she says, "When you're through changing, you're through," right? See where I'm going with this? There's so much to learn in real estate, literally every month, every day, from like digital marketing to ways to target the right audiences, the buyer audiences, to mastering negotiation tactics. Learning to be the best you can be in this industry is literally endless. So if you have someone with years of experience who's keeping up with everything, knows everything that's new, they're a real go-getter, that's great. They're going to be on the cutting edge. They'll have all of the strategies combined with their years of experience. And that's going to be a win for you. However, as I mentioned before, if they say they're up to date on everything, I want you to ask a lot of questions. All right, explain to me more about how you're up to date. And you want the answers to roll off their tongue. That's how you'll know that they are. And we'll get into a bit later about the most important questions to ask someone that you're interviewing. So on the other hand, if you're considering someone with years of experience and they say they're up to date, but then they're still doing real estate the way they did during the Bush presidency, I would say that's not the right choice. Everything changes so very quickly in this industry, and in that case, you're much better off with someone who's maybe like a newer agent on a very supportive team, who knows technology, they're smart, they're knowledgeable about the market, they're really eager to build their reputation. That person's going to be a good choice, okay? I just mentioned teams. So you also want to think about if someone is on the team, you want to know more about their team, the team that agent is on. And I'm not actually talking about the brokerage, like the big brokerages. I'm talking about the teams within the brokerage. And sometimes that could be 2, 3, or 4 people. And sometimes it can be a team of 20 or more people. So you really want to know exactly who on the team you'll be working with. Who's going to be doing the marketing? Who's going to be your point person? Are there several people that are going to be handling the showings? Who's going to be doing all of the little intricacies that are involved in listing and selling your property? Who's your primary negotiator? Okay? You're going to want to know all of that information. You can ask about their experience in the specific areas that they're covering, okay? Usually there's a team leader who's quite successful, has a lot of experience, but if that team leader's not involved, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but you want to know that. You want to know to what extent the team leader's involved, okay? Because they may be involved in one small part of the process, they may be involved in the entire transaction, okay? And in many ways, that works super well. I love this question. I would also ask your agent what other agents think of them and see if they can answer right away, right? If they get a little stumped by the answer or they give very basic responses, I say that because there's some people out there that like aren't as honest or ethical as other agents, unfortunately. So if they kind of stumble on the answer, they may be one of those people. And some of them are extremely difficult to work with, okay? And if that's your listing agent, buyers sometimes say, ugh, I don't want to be involved working with Chad. He's so challenging and so difficult, and I really don't want you as a buyer to have to go through working with him. They might not bring buyers to your listing, okay? If you're someone that's historically considered really challenging or really difficult to work with. So ask your agent how they're known, but what other agents think of them, okay? And again, if they're able to spout it right off the tip of their tongue, what their reputation is, they're probably legitimate. But if they have to pause and think and say, oh, I'm really professional. They really think I get the job done. I'm really nice. That's just generic and probably a red flag, okay? One of the last things to talk about when choosing an agent is your general rapport, okay? How do you feel during your calls and meetings with the agent? Do you feel like they get you, understand you? Are they listening to you? Do you feel like you get along? Right? To be honest with you, this is important. It's important to have a good rapport with your agent. You want them to be on your side. You want it to be a good relationship. And I will also say, as a seller, you should do your best to not be difficult or rude to a good listing agent. They are working for you and they want to work well with you, and they're doing a lot on the back end. In all relationships, the relationships in this world that work the best are the ones that are equal partners and mutual respect. So it's not one-sided with the respect and the kindness and the hard work. Your agent's going to be doing that for you, and you want to make sure you're giving them the respect as well so that they're driven and motivated to work hard for you, okay? So those are some things to consider when hiring your real estate agent when it comes to experience.